Picking up from where we left off in the previous video, we're going to continue building out our no path, and we're going to continue with our find alternate time node. Since the information will be sent to an API afterwards, we're going to use the variable extraction feature to get the date and time. Scrolling down, we can enable variables. And then we're going to add a variable for date, which we want to be a string. We have a couple different options, such as string, integer, and Boolean. String, text. Integer, numbers. Boolean, true or false. So our date will be the date the user is available. Our time will also be a string and will be the time that the user is available. These two variables will now be available in the remainder of the no pathway. For simplicity of the example, we're not covering the use case in which the user says they're not sure or they just don't want us to call them back. So prompting for conditional loops, this example is very basic. To increase the consistency during calls, we can take advantage of more advanced prompting. Just remember that during the execution of any node, there is a separate LLM running to analyze responses and extract these variables. This means you can enter in a fully descriptive prompt for each variable and get a more precise extraction value. An example would be the date the user reported they are available at, formatted as month, day, year. And then time would be time the user reported they are available at, formatted as hour, minute. We can save that node. Next, we're going to move on to our webhook to actually schedule the alternative date that the user provided. In this webhook node, we do need to extract call info into variables. This allows us to utilize the information that's coming to us. So we're going to enable this, and we're going to put date as a string again and just prompt it. This is the date the user suggested. Time as a string. This is the time the user suggested. We're going to go into our webhook settings. This is where you can select and add all of the details associated with your API webhook. You have all the standard HTTP methods: get, post, patch, put, and delete. You're going to enter the URL of your API. And then in the body, we are passing a JSON object. It's just a collection of fields. We're passing the date along with a variable formatted date, and then time along with the variable time. We also want to set a prompt for the agent to say while processing the webhook request and give our agent instructions on where to move next after completing this webhook. So if we go to pathway after API response request, we'd select our end call node. Speech during webhook, we're going to use static text here and say, okay, great, let me book that right now. Just give me one moment. In the next video, we'll continue on.